This program contains true stories of rescues. All of the 911 calls you will hear are real. Whenever possible, the actual people involved have helped us reconstruct the events as they happened. We begin in Cape Elizabeth, Maine, on the morning of November 27th, 1989, at the home of 16-year-old Sarah Michael.
Probably a sweater.
I remember Katie coming over to my house. It was the day after Thanksgiving, and we were going to go Christmas shopping.
Absolutely disgusting. They're really good.
My mother had baked cookies the day before, and we decided to have one because she loves chocolate chips.
What are you gonna get rid of?
She took 2 bites out of her cookie and immediately asked me, "What are in these cookies?" And I said, "Just normal type things."
The two girls had planned to spend the afternoon shopping with friends at a mall in South Portland, 6 miles away.
Hey.
I was in a pretty good mood. I think we all were.
Lori pulled out and started driving to Portland.
Did you have a good Thanksgiving, Laura?
Yeah, I did.
What'd you do?
Rhode Island. Just for the day and had a nice turkey dinner at Aunt's house. One car.
Oh, one car.
Katie had asked to go to the drugstore to get some asthma medicine, and she went in and bought some allergy pills. I have asthma too, so I noticed her wheezing, and she definitely wasn't as talkative or chatty as she usually is.
It hasn't been through school. When are you gonna get a
Katie's friend Lori was driving that day.
Katie rolled down the window, probably about halfway there, and we just figured she wanted some air, and then she started putting her hand up towards her mouth. I just figured that she just maybe had the flu or something, nothing major.
Gonna be okay? I think so.
And right before we were about to go off the ramp, she started to throw up.
Oh, okay, okay. Let's go home.
Yeah. Here, Katie, here's some Kleenex.
That's when we decided to go left to home rather than right, which is the mall.
I asked her, "Are you okay?" And she said, "Yes, but I am wheezing." And I think it was something in the cookie.
She was just sitting up real straight, and she was having a really hard time breathing, and she was kind of holding her throat a little bit and said, "I'm not gonna make it, take me to the police station."
We became panicked when she said that. We knew that the Southport police station was in a general area, but we didn't know which street to get to it.
Yeah.
Go up here and take a left. She said that she felt like her throat was closing up. She couldn't breathe.
I was very worried. I was very scared. Something was different. This wasn't a normal asthma attack.
Katie, can I see your hand?
I looked at Katie's nails and they were blue.
I'm gonna get you help.
I'd never been to that police station.
Deep breath.
I knew it was one of 2 roads, and I just happened to pick the wrong one.
We turned down this long straight, and when we got to the end, we were facing a one-way street going the opposite direction, and the police station really was only about 200 to 300 yards away from us.
I'm going up it, guys.
I said, "I'm going up it," and Katie said, "No, turn around, go up the other way." I knew she didn't have much more than a few minutes, so I just wheeled the car right around and just floored it. That was probably the scariest part, because right then she was just, couldn't breathe, couldn't do anything. And I knew that I just had to get that car going as fast as it could. And we were all thinking that she was just going to pass out on us and die.
When we continue,
I started crying because she was my best friend, and she's so young. She's got so much more to do, so much more to see, and she hasn't done enough and hasn't lived enough.
Stay strong, Kate.
We were all kind of planning out what we were going to do when we got to the police station. And I decided that I'd be the one to call Mrs. Martin, and Sarah would be the one to go run and get the police.
I need help. My friend's having an asthma attack.
Sarah quickly explained the problem to the first officer she met.
Right out there, in the parking lot.
Out of the parking
yes.
lot?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Go ahead. I'll call the ambulance.
She was just frozen and just kept saying, "Help me, Laurie, help me. I'm going to die. I'm going to die."
She just looked up. She just looked so scared and so helpless.
What happened to her?
Officer Buddy Pelletier was first on the scene.
What's your name? Katie. Katie, listen to me.
People that have respiratory problems, the more they gasp for air, the less oxygen they get.
Breathing down. Just take it easy.
Her respirations were getting shallower and shallower, and at some point in time, she actually stopped breathing.
She just looked up into my face and then the policeman's face, and I couldn't help her. And I couldn't do anything for her, and I couldn't stop what was happening.
Detective Peter McVeigh also ran to help.
Just as he got around the corner, her body just gave away.
She was my best friend, and she's so young. She's got so much more to do, so much more to see, and she hasn't done enough and hasn't lived enough.
EMT Kevin Giemond arrived within minutes.
I knew right then when we were pulling in that she wasn't breathing. She just looked like a sack of potatoes.
He took the respirator out of the kit. I immediately put it on her face and started forcing air into her lungs.
She wasn't getting the air that way, but you can see the air coming on the sides. Her throat was just swollen up and closed up, apparently.
You can tell if they're dying or not, if they're chalky, you can tell. This girl was on her way out. I could have wasted time, try to start an IV, try to do some other things, but that wouldn't have saved her. She needed air, she needed oxygen.
Without oxygen, Katie could suffer permanent brain damage within 6 minutes.
I took an oral airway. They're about 3 inches long. Usually you can pop an oral airway in and ventilate fairly decently, but it just wouldn't work. She had a lockjaw, her teeth were locked together. So I grabbed a nasal airway. It's a skill you learn in basic EMT class, but you learn it one evening for 10 minutes and that's it. You never really think you're going to use it.
Try that.
It worked real quick, real quick.
Okay, she got a pulse. All right, give me a driver. Let's get out of here.
At that time, I still wasn't positive she was going to live.
We just all said, we got to think positive. You know, they're professionals, they can bring her back.
Katie was admitted to the main medical center under the care of Dr. Rick Baker.
She wasn't moving any extremities and was really very unresponsive on arrival. We were very concerned that she was going to continue to deteriorate to a full arrest.
As soon as Katie's mother, Sally, got Allison's call from the police station, she headed to the hospital.
I thought the girls had just maybe overreacted. Katie has had allergies and asthma really ever since she was a tiny baby. I remember walking through the door and I said to her, "Where's Katie?" And the nurse looked at me and she said, "Katie is in the trauma unit and we're working on her and we're doing the best we can." At that point, I felt like somebody had taken a sledgehammer and knocked me right in the stomach.
Our concern was to give her an injection of adrenaline just the moment she hit the place. 0.5 of epi. It stops the swelling that's going on and really puts a halt to the allergic response.
Okay, Katie.
Sorry, Katie. Okay, Katie. Okay. She took an additional 2 injections of adrenaline in order to help stabilize her, and on top of that required some Benadryl, which is an antihistamine, to help pull her out of this. It probably took about 20 minutes for her to wake up and sit up and talk to us.
I went over to her side and I took a hold of her hand, which was ice cold.
Katie.
And she
Hi, darling.
looked at me.
No, Katie, it's Mom.
The only thing I could think of was that she was an angel. Because I had thought I was dead.
You're doing fine.
In the emergency room. You're doing
I said,
fine.
in this mother-teacher tone, I said, Katie, it's your mother. You're fine. You're going to be all right now.
All right, we get to go now.
Katie survived without any permanent injuries. Her parents later questioned her friends to discover what had caused the near-fatal allergic reaction.
Mr. Martin said, did she eat any nuts? And that's when I said, yeah, there were nuts in the cookies. There were walnuts in the cookies. And he said that's what it was. It never occurred to me that an allergy could be that bad.
I think all of us have just kind of learned to appreciate life a little more. It made us stronger, I guess, as friends.
Katie has since been tested for other allergies. She now wears a medic alert tag that lists them and a number to call in an emergency. Although more than a year has passed, her father Al can't forget.
It's only later that it really hits you, I think. I'm really a lucky guy. I mean, I came so close to losing a daughter, and just by a combination of her own good sense and 3 wonderful young friends that were mature enough to know what to do, and then finally the rescue people that did such a professional, talented job. They are the difference between Katie being here and her not being here.
When you've been that near death, you know, I think it really makes you aware of how thin the line is.
You know, you only live once, or most people do. And you gotta live life to what it is. If you want to do something, you do it. And you don't wait for it to happen to you. You go out and do it.
Next, if this man is an imposter and he's trying to stop a female who's alone, he may be trying to sexually assault her, he may be trying to rob her, we just didn't know.
We begin on September 3rd, 1991 in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, as real estate agent Lynn Feist was on her way to her last business appointment of the day.
Yes, I'd like to report a car, please. BZC7 Carolina, sticker on the back, red car. He flashed a badge at me as I'm driving past him as if he were a cop, and then he got right behind me and started following closely. And then I got behind, I picked up the car phone. He immediately started to take off. I'm following him right now. You know where he is? Yes,
When I first got the call, I thought this is an undercover officer or something like that. And he was trying to get her over for some type of violation that she had committed.
Pardon me? He's in the 200 block of West Road. Right here.
911 dispatcher Terry Russell checked to see who owned the car.
I can run a license plate and get it back within a matter of seconds.
I don't like that he flashed a badge at me. Okay, we'll see who he is. Hold on just a minute. You stay on the phone with me and keep following. Is it a Mustang, ma'am? Yes, it is. It's a red Ford Mustang. Okay.
If this man is an imposter and he's trying to stop a female who's alone, he may be trying to sexually assault her, he may be trying to rob her, we just didn't know.
Terry passed along the information to the police dispatcher, Jeff McVeigh.
Making a left on the Cameron. I'm having to, you heard me on that one. I had to do a sharp turn. He's taking off like a bat out of hell here.
Where is he now?
He's heading towards Cameron. Cameron.
Car 10.
Dispatcher McVeigh notified units in the area.
There was serious danger for her. I got a general idea of where she was. I sent the officer to that area.
Where is he now? He is turning right onto Pittsburgh, but he did the signal. He obviously doesn't want me to know where he's going. Right on Pittsburgh now, Jim? He knows I'm following him. He doesn't like it.
I did consider it to be a very scary situation for her. When you're sitting in that chair, it's like I can't get him there fast enough. I wish I could reach right through the phone and help her, but I can't.
Can you stay behind him? I'm staying right with him.
She knew where she was going. She knew the road she was turning on. That made my job that much easier.
She's coming up on the light.
My ideal call is this call.
And he's in the right-hand lane. He's going to have to go straight across to, down, what is it, Manning Drive. Okay, but he's getting ready to go across? Yeah, we're on a red light. We're at the stop intersection. He's first. He's on his way across. He's going down, and the car's going to cut me off here. Are y'all moving, or are you still at the light? No, we're moving. All right, you passed? We got another red light coming up here at the hospital intersection. Okay. He's making a right onto West Drive, which is the parking deck, and he's trying to... Subject is turning off of Manning Drive onto West Drive now. He's going into employee parking, permit parking, and I don't know if he can get in. He's on West Drive, going into the parking deck. He's in the parking deck now. He's going into the first entrance. He's waiting for a ticket that's not coming. And he's having to back up. This is very interesting. He is trapped, and he knows that. I'm going to...
At any moment, he could have gotten out of his car. That was the scariest part for me, for her. That was the point where I felt that she was in the most danger.
Timber, the gate at the parking deck is not opening for the subject. He's trying to back out now, and she's behind him. I'm staying right with him to the side. He knows the spot right now. Okay, he's now coming. He's going to try the next parking deck here. That's obvious. He's turning into the patient visitor parking. What side of the parking deck are you on? I'm on the north, what is it, the west side? The side that the Slaw building is on, and he's just gone into it. He's on the side of the Slaw building. I can't go in after him. He's in the parking deck. Can you see the officer behind you? Okay. I do. Point the officer to the direction of where he's at. I'm not sure what his purpose was. That's what concerns me. Was he trying to pull me over, and then what would he have done? You acted properly. Okay.
The first help to arrive was Chapel Hill police officer Robert Carton.
I got into the garage and started searching for the red Mustang. I sort of thought that maybe he'd went through the parking deck and went out one of the other exits.
What color hair did he have? He's a blonde. Blonde-headed? Yeah. Did he have a beard or mustache or anything? I didn't pay that close attention because I was following him the back most of the way. 10. He's blonde-headed, and he possibly had on a striped shirt, something like an Izod shirt, possibly. Well, make sure she stands by. I'm going through the garage now.
I did not see a red Ford Mustang, but I saw a white male with blonde hair walking. Something just told me to see if this is the guy, so I sort of gunned my engine a little bit. People who normally are innocent will step over to the side. People who have done something normally start doing what I call the penguin walk, trying to get away without running.
Sir, were you driving a red Ford Mustang? No.
I said, what are you doing up here then? He said, I'm out here taking a walk.
If you're taking a walk,
and I said, well, why do you have a Ford key in your hand? And in his hand, he had a set of Ford keys. And I said, are you driving a red Ford Mustang? He said, yes.
Stand back.
He let me search the car. I found the badge in the console, and what he asked me was, am I going to be in trouble? Sort of sounded strange, and I said, well, I believe so. I don't think I ever got a truthful answer out of him where he in fact got the badge.
The suspect was subsequently convicted of impersonating an officer.
It was not until afterwards that I thought of the reasons as to why this man was trying to pull me over. I was not concerned at the time that this was all happening, that I was going to be robbed or raped or assaulted. I became really suspicious when I realized that it was a little bit silly for an off-duty police officer to worry about a woman speeding 42 miles an hour in a 35-mile-an-hour zone.
The good judgment and courage under pressure that Lynn Feist displayed during this incident particularly impressed her family.
I mean, Mom thought pretty fast to pick up the phone and check if this guy was real. I'm proud that she was able to take a situation in her own hands and take control of it.
He undermined what we value and trust. We never have thought, I think, anywhere, that if we stopped for a police officer, he might not be real.
I learned to be a little more cautious and to think ahead.
Here in North Carolina, state law says that to stop a vehicle, you must activate not just a blue light, but also a siren. If you do not believe who we are, we would much rather you go to an occupied location and let us follow you there and you feel safe. It's a scary thing to be stopped by any police officer anyway. But one who, in fact, wants to get up to your car window, you realize it's not a police officer. It's got to put a chill down your spine.
Step out of the car, please.